Steelers and Lions. Steelers versus Lions, man. Obviously, talk about this third preseason game for Detroit. This is going to matter to them, man. Those guys are going to come out here. They're going to be playing their guys, like we said, everybody except Jared Goff. So, for me, man, I'm liking this because, number one, when I think of this matchup, I look right at running backs, right? It's a bad habit. I'm like, all right, let me see what this running back, inside linebacker situation is going to look like. Who could hurt us? Who could make us, learn more about certain players? And here we go again with a DeAndre Swift. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if this is the week, if not now, then when? But I do think this would be a good opportunity once again, man, in terms of, our linebackers just being challenged differently.
And their offensive line ain't bad.
Yeah, their offensive line is actually good. That I do want to put that out there. You know how we talked about who was it last week? Jacksonville. We're kind of like, man, that D line, they got a chance to be really good. I think this Lions offensive line has a chance to be good as well. And it's one of those things, man. They have talent, they have youth, they have experience as well. When you're talking about Penny Sewell and Taylor Decker, those dudes are good, man. Those are good players right there. Frank Ragnow, that's a really good starting center, man, in this league. So with that type of combination, man, it's going to be just an interesting test. I wonder for us, Cam Hayward, with his participation. And like you said, we'll find out a lot more when Coach Simon speaks again in terms of who's going to get, the nod to play and who is not. Because like I said, for us, we've never experienced this 3-game preseason just yet. So that's definitely something that I'm interested to see. But more importantly, man, when you're talking about these tackles, okay, if it is Hamilcar who gets that opportunity to start, because Hamilcar did take first team reps. Was that today? Yeah, today's practice. Yeah,
Yesterday.
Yeah, because it was him and Mark Robinson was going to get their opportunities and stuff like that. I do think it would be very interesting to see how he would perform against either one of these guys.
Actually, hopefully TJ Watt doesn't play.
Yeah, because I want to know who we have. I want to know what we have in those guys, because those are two really good tackles, So if you're able to go out there and have some success, well, then I know, all right, when you're facing some regular guys, we should feel very confident. We should feel good about that third outside linebacker. But if this is a situation where neither or any of those guys can go out there and have any type of success against those two quality tackles, well, now we're going to be feeling more anxious about our situation. I thought last year Alex Highsmith, he had some opportunities to prove himself. And he did, and it made us all feel good. We were like, you know what?
Yeah.
Alex looking good right now. That's a step up. That's competition. That's good on good, and he looked good. Right now, we got to see, can these younger guys do that in that outside linebacker position? But I definitely think that would be something good for us to learn about, in the same vein as how we learned about Dan Moore last week against Josh Allen.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, a lot of this, so what I have written down here, I'll go back to what I have written, like in terms of just linebackers, because that's what we were on a little bit. We were focused on Lions offense versus our defense, and I feel like it's just the same thing. Is it just bro. Not from the start of the preseason? It's
definitely is, bro.
What are our linebackers going to look like? What's Devin Bush going to look like in this matchup? They got a decent running back. We're talking about them having
who matches up with him? You know what I mean?
Like, 100% too with Hawkinson.
Because think about it, bro. He gave us some issues. Like, we know we struggle with athletic tight ends, anyways. So whether this is a matchup for a Miles Jack, which I'll be excited to see as well, if that is the case, or if it is a Devin Bush, Robert Spillane. Mark Robinson, because Mark Robinson's going to get some opportunities early. Yeah, he's going to get some opportunities. So any of those dudes, I want to see, how do they match it with that? Because you're going to see that's becoming more common in terms of these unicorn tight ends like this. And if you're a guy that can match up and you can show that in a safe setting like the preseason is, well, then that gives us a lot more confidence when it actually does matter in the regular season.
Yeah, because literally I have linebackers. Yeah. Offensive line, QB battle still for grabs. The same exact storylines going back to week 1.
Like, it is.
And the only difference is we're talking about how these matchups are going to affect, are going to be specific in this game.
That's it.
That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And it's good for this one because the Lions are going to be playing everyone outside of Jared Goff, so we'll actually get to see, I think, for the most part, a true test.
And I also was going to say, when I saw where Goff wasn't playing, I was like, dang, man, they ain't got the starting quarter. It's going to be hard to, scale it and dissect it. But then I was like, man, Goff ain't, all world, so it's all right. It don't matter if he ain't out there. We still get quality play, man. I think it'd be a kill. I think it'd be all right.
Yeah, and it's not like
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like
Lions quarterbacks that have gotten in have been world beaters at
right.
this point.
I'm like,
but
they've
gotten
from
around.
Here to
you can check their stats out. They've been all right.
Yeah, but it is still like their offense is still gonna like their offense is what I'm saying. Like it's not. I don't think it's gonna be this crazy. Oh, what is going on out here?
No, for sure.
Even though it would be funny though, as I'm looking at their depth chart, could they potentially be in play for Mason?
Oh, I was gonna say there's just an audition for Mason. Right
I was
now.
about to say, bro. Because if I'm Mason, I'm looking at this like, y'all seen me in stadium on short notice. Now let me get a whole week to prepare for y'all. What's up?
And let's not act like the Steelers don't do that.
Okay.
There's a guy or two that cooks
facts.
us, and like a year down the line, we somehow sign him. Oh,
I
I remember that guy. He cooked us.
We'll do that. Absolutely, we'll do that, man.
So,
yeah,
I'm sure other NFL teams do it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do you want to go with it? Do you want to stay on our defense at all? Is there right now, is there anything interesting though outside of linebackers?
To me, that was the biggest thing because I thought with their receivers, these dudes aren't like
DJ Chark's nice.
Well, sure.
And then Williams ain't gonna play.
Right. And another thing was Amon-Ra St. Brown. You discovered him last year.
I tried telling everyone.
But
him and
for
Quez
me,
Watkins.
Like, do you think in the sense that because like I don't feel like any of those dudes threaten the corners that we have right now enough to where I'm like, man, this would be a good test.
Especially with knockoff either.
Right. I'm like, I don't see them testing them dudes like that. I think DJ Chark would be decent in terms of who he would match up with in terms of that testing element. But when you talk about him not having golf, then yeah, it takes away from that.
If TJ, Cam, most of our starters don't play on the defensive line, it
could
get ugly.
It could make it very interesting.
It could get ugly, but
yeah,
it's preseason, so I'm not going to be opposed to the test. It goes back to what you're saying at the beginning. Let's see what we got in terms of the depth on our outside linebackers. Going up against Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell on the outside.
Yeah.
And even some of the guys on the inside. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I really want to
I don't know if Montravius Adams is going to play like Louderman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because some of these guys have been in and out of the lineup.
But dudes, that'd be like such a good test. Yeah. That's the quality tape
that
you want. Like you want to see those dudes against a Detroit starting line. Because you're going to get the chance to know, all right, are these guys, starters or are these guys more rotational pieces? But this is the type of quality information that you acquire in a preseason matchup like this, man.
I'm good with not seeing TJ, not seeing Cam.
Even though Cam was going to play last week, though, if he didn't get hurt.
He was going to?
From my understanding, yeah. Him and TJ. That's why TJ was out there. Remember, he just got hurt on that Thursday practice or whatever, and they held him out.
I don't need to see them, but if for whatever, it's like the Najee factor. If Najee feels like, hey, I just got to get out there and get hit. And if TJ feels that way or Cam feels that way,
we'll get to them in a second, yeah.
Then let them play, but I don't need to see them at all.
Okay.
I don't think anyone does. But I do wonder with it being 3 preseason games
and then they're
4,
going to have like that, 2 weeks off too.
Yeah, it's good to maybe get some in for this game, even though it is the last preseason game. Most people take it as like this is the game where you just let all the backups play. I don't need to see him, but whatever. I get it if you want to just get some reps and get some practice in before the season starts.
Yeah.
All right.
I just need like a series tops. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, I don't need to. Yeah, I don't need to see anything really.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they want to play, whatever.
All right. Their defense, our offense, though.
Yeah, it goes back to our O-line.
They gonna.
Here's what I have listed down.
Yeah. I
be better as a whole. Dotson, close this thing out. Does Kendrick make the team? Those are my 3 big bullet points for the O-line here.
Okay.
Going up against number 2 pick, Aiden Hutchinson on the outside.
That was the one for me. I said, ooh, this is going to get really interesting because he's looked good so far.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
He's got a motor, too.
He has that as well, yes. And their D-line, I mean, it's low-key all right, too, man. Michael Brockers, he's a little bit older, but he's been a successful player in this league, man. He's done it for a while. Charles Harris has obviously been playing well for the Lions as well. And they got the former Steeler, man.
Isaiah Buggs.
You better check your chin.
Revenge
you already know
game.
what he is, man. You already know what time he on, man. Let's go.
Well, it's unfortunate we can't put Davis on the offensive line and match them up, maybe.
I know. But no, man. I want to see how our tackles, Chooks and Dan Moore, respond. When you talk about Charles Harris, when you talk about Aiden Hutchinson, more importantly, Aiden, like Dan Moore's gonna get a handful of them, And we're going to have to see, has he improved upon his mistakes from last week? Now, I do think it'll be a little different battle for Dan in the sense that Aiden is a little bit longer of an athlete, but he's not as twitchy as Josh Allen is. But I think that Aiden is a more powerful player than Josh Allen is. So that's the part for me where it's like, man, I want to see how Dan responds to that. This might be a little bit more like a Myles Garrett type of approach. You know what I mean? And how he's going to, in terms of the athlete he'll be facing, body type and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just going to be the storyline throughout the game. Are they going to be improved from last week? I mean, that's going to be a big difference. And I think it's obviously going to affect, as it did last week a little bit, the whole quarterback battle.
I would agree.
Because that's what we talked about, too. I mean, we saw how much pressure the Jaguars were able to get and how it affected our offense when Mitch was in.
Yeah.
Pickett, I mean, you talked about some of the adjustments, but I thought Pickett stood in there strong.
No,
got
absolutely,
the ball out
man.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Mason had to deal with that, too. So it's the offensive line, in terms of just our offense versus our defense, I think that's where everything starts for this. That's going to keep us on schedule one way or another.
So
keep
question,
us on or
man,
off schedule, rather.
if you see Dan Moore struggle like how he did last week, even though we know it's Aiden Hutchinson, does that change your viewpoint on Dan Moore?
No, because I think my viewpoint right now is we should keep our eyes out for a left tackle.
So if he goes out here and it looks like how I did last week, we'll still
keep your eyes out.
Keep your eyes out, but we're still rolling with it.
Yeah, start the season.
Okay, because that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, would that be
start looking
that
at the trade
point
market,
where you're
though.
like, bro, this is too much. We can't trust this over here.
Yeah, I think you got to start looking at the trade market, though.
Okay.
It's tough because it's going to depend on what teams are
saying,
bad.
yeah.
You might have to wait a little bit for that. Because I don't know if a team's just going to start trading the house when they're 0-3. Although, you need a team like the Dolphins whenever we traded for Minka. That they were just, you knew they were tanking going in.
Ooh, you can't say that, remember?
Who's tanking going into this season? I don't know if anyone is. Seahawks might be, actually. Low key. I mean, they might be looking for, like, Bryce Young next year. Because I think they would have addressed their quarterback scenario.
No,
a little
remember,
bit more
he said
way.
they got 7. He said 7. Remember, that's what TG told us.
I think Seahawks are kind of tanking. They might be all right because Pete Carroll has kept them in the mix. And I think's been a decent coach, even though people want to rip on him recently. Texans, I don't know. I don't think they're, like, tanking.
The Texans, man.
I don't think they're doing a fire sale of their team.
No, because if that's the case, they would have started doing that last year. Yeah.
I think if Dan Moore doesn't look good in this game, I guess you roll with him still. He went up against some good competition in back-to-back weeks, but you got to keep your eyes peeled.
Okay. Because that's the one for me where I'm just like, I just wonder how I would feel going into week 1 if I had to see him back-to-back weeks struggling the way that he did against Jacksonville. Jacksonville was bad. That was a really, really bad performance, man.
It was.
Yeah. I just don't know if we could do 2 back-to-back like that and then just expect us to, like, magically forget it. And then going into the season, hopeful, optimistic about him.
Well, since Tomlin said the quarterback competition isn't closed out, I'm guessing we're going to see our receivers then.
That's what it sounds like, yeah. It sounds like everything should be on the table. I wonder how.
And we should win those matchups.
Yeah. And when we come in here and we speak on Friday, we'll also have more information, too, in terms of multiple practices by then. Coach might have spoken again by then, so we'll have just more information about what that's going to look like going forward.
Yeah, because my main things with the quarterback, it's kind of what we talked about with TG.
Yeah.
How does Mitch respond to it still being open-ended? Can he keep it up? Because there's something to that as well. You got 2 good preseason games. Can you make it 3?
Also, who gets to start? Because that has not been clarified just yet.
It has not. I mean,
that has not been
home
clarified.
Game,
okay.
Sunday, 4:30. People are getting rowdy if it's Kenny.
Well,
if it's Kenny coming out there, start the game.
My thing is, if the competition is still open, like truly,
you should do something like that.
I would want to see that.
Go series for series, something like that.
Yeah, or give them if it's truly open. I just don't know if it's really open or not. But if it is, I would really want to see how Kenny can handle that.
He doesn't send messages.
Yeah, he makes moves. So hopefully we'll see, man. Yeah.
Do you have anything else with the preview?
I'm trying to think, man. What was the other? Just the Najee element. I don't know how much we'll see of him, but it does seem like he's gonna play. So.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying with TJ and Cam and stuff.
Out, man.
Whatever. If he wants to play, fine. But I don't need to see him.
Yeah, to me, man, the big thing is, like I said, our tackles versus their edge rushers. Once we can get past that part of it, better whether it looks good or not, at least we need that info though. I think once we get that, then we'll be good, man.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, everything else seems pretty straightforward with this, man. Yeah. Because I'm just trying to think, man.
We could save score predictions for Friday.
No, definitely saving for Friday. And we'll be more specific in terms of I got some other things we'll talk about specifically. But yeah, just with this particular our offense versus their defense, man. Because I think that when you talk about Pat, I think Pat is still going to be able to have success in this game.
Oh yeah,
just like how we did last year. Yeah, and like
they
the
got
receivers,
some young
like
corners, good corner, but like no, I think we got the advantage in the receiver.
They're still trying to figure out a lot in terms of their defense and certain personnel groupings. Now Deshaun Elliott, now he's been good. Now that dude, I remember he came up from Baltimore and stuff, but yeah, bro. So we good with that.